I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. I'm Al Ducharme, and that is my partner. I think he's on the mend, but he's taken ill. Al Romas. We're going to get the latest on his health. We're going to cover a lot of things today. Still early in the new year. And we have a background that suggests that it may be fall, but because he's out of Clearwater, Florida, that's what it would look like, right? Oh, my.
Yeah,
Of course, my phone is ringing.
of course it is.
Of course, my phone is ringing.
Just underway. Yeah, what is this? Volume 2 of
Well, you're calling it
season
volume 2.
3?
I think we got to stick with the big number because the big number is impressive. This is, if it's an episode 216, but this is our third season. So I saw that you posted season 3, episode 1. I was like, no,
It's not
because
episode
I think
one
a
of
big
season
number
3?
gives you a little bit more street cred. To say, oh, these guys are consistent. They do it every week
We do.
for
We do it every-
216 episodes. That's a lot. It's over 2 years. Coming up
Join
on
the
3.
Patreon and scroll through the Patreon. There's like 300 plus videos there. And there's a million things on that thing. It goes way, way back.
Yeah, but you
Way
can't
back.
scroll all of them unless you become a member. And for as
Well,
little as $5 a month, you will help these struggling artists keep their podcast on the air. And thank you for my Venmo payment, by the way. That's
I was messing around. I was messing around on Patreon, and then I look at the account, and then I just saw, and I don't know, I was flucking around. And all of a sudden, it said sent. I was like, whoa, hey. But you know what? Patreon, you can't just pull out if you wanted to, even pull out $50 or $100. You got to take the amount. As far as I can see, looks like you have to take your full amount each time.
yeah.
You can't
Well,
just
I just
pull
want credit
like
for
a
not
bank
making a
account.
pull out joke right there. I could have went blue.
And then
And then
followed
the
with a
pull-out.
dun 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 dun. New Year's Eve, Alfredo. How was it? You were on the ship. You were on the beautiful. I don't know which ship you were on, but you were on one of them. And how was the New Year's? Did you work? And
I did.
give us
I just did
give us
a
little
short.
flavor.
Yeah, I
Give us a
did
little
about
flavor of
25
New Year's Eve.
minutes.
Mhm.
I'm
That's
on
enough.
Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas, and
Oh,
we were sailing out of New Orleans, and
Oh.
I spent the night and day there in New Orleans, and then we sailed away. And we sailed away on New Year's Eve, and I performed 25 minutes at like 10 o'clock at night. So I was done at 10:25.
in your jammies, under the covers, before midnight.
Well, they had the balloon drop in the center of the ship. You know, it's like 10 stories open centrum area of the ship. So that's kind of cool to see. And I didn't get in the mix of it. I was in the periphery. I just wanted to see the actual
Mhm.
balloon drop and people screaming and whatnot. And then
Well,
I bolted.
you can't be around that. Everybody will be like, "That's fucking Elder Charm." Oh my God, that's the comedian. It becomes a scene. You don't want to take away from New Year's Eve, so you hid in the periphery.
Do you know
as
what's
you should.
happening again? This hasn't happened in years, but after I get off stage, people pulling my clothes off, both men and women, ripping my clothes off.
Well,
And it's happening again. It's happened
and
twice
women,
now.
women also.
Yeah, that's
Finally.
that's
Yeah.
why I bring it up,
Yeah,
because
you had
it's
those
normally
issues
just
for-
guys.
yeah. For so long, you had those issues with that.
And here's the thing: a lot of
I
the,
kept
I'm, not,
telling you, it's still a compliment. Still a
I'm-
compliment.
I'm not making a gay joke here
I am.
or a rape joke.
I am. I'll take credit for both gay and rape.
No, hey, that was pretty funny for a guy who's on the verge of testing positive for
Dying.
COVID, has the flu and the RSV. Not too bad, not too bad at all. As a matter of fact, we tend to take little jabs at one another throughout our
Fauci.
podcast, and
The
I'm a
Fauci
little
jab.
reluctant because I don't want to kick a pussy when he's down. So I will be careful and not to.
I got a lozenge in my mouth. I'm like Jerry Lewis.
Excuse me.
Remember Jerry
Yeah.
Lewis in the 70s? Always, well, every time he did an interview, he had a lozenge in his
Yeah.
mouth.
Because he had halitosis, or was it just because he had a?
I don't know what it was. He always
Was
had
it I don't give a shit?
I don't know. I think it was I don't give a shit. I think it was like, you can talk to him. I could take this out and be professional, or I can leave it in. Fuck you. But I have a law.
Did you see the Instagram TikTok video that's a little viral. It's just a little 20-second clip of Jim Carrey walks in as Jerry Lewis is being interviewed. You all right? Yeah. Heimlich, maneuver that man. Wohlstand Benz. Schnell. Achtung, baby.
I find like beer. This one's gonna suck. I'm out.
I know. But that fire.
What was the Jim Carrey?
Ow! Jim Carrey just walked in while Jerry Lewis was getting ready to be interviewed. They had cameras on and whatnot. And he just walks in. He walks right up next to him, stares at him. And he goes, Jerry Lewis goes, is that? And then some guy yells off camera, yes, it's Jim. And then Jim Carrey goes, the guy who fucked your... No, I forgot what he said. Oh, I fucked it up.
Dude,
Cut that out.
I saw this. I let it go because I thought you were going to deliver it beautifully. And you fucking butchered this.
I butchered it.
What was that?
Because you interrupted me with your cough, and I'm focused on you now. I don't want you to throw up. I don't want you to pass out.
I sat back and watched you just deliver a bomb and a half. Jim Carrey looks at Jerry Lewis and says, "You fucked my mother."
Right.
Yes.
But he was cut off like you did with me with your cough.
God.
All right, we hate
that.
You.
Was horrendous. That was horrendous. So New Year's Eve on the Radiance, you do 25 minutes, then you watch the balloons drop, and then that's it. That was New Year's Eve.
I boogied back to my cabin.
Well,
I did some social media Happy New Year's.
Wow.
And then I channel surfed, and that was it.
You watch a TV in your room on the ship? You turn the TV on?
A lot, yes.
I never turn the TV on. Never
what?
Turn it on. I have my phone and my Kindle, and I never turn the TV on.
You don't watch ESPN? You don't watch football? You don't watch the news?
I watch it all on my Kindle and phone.
You stream? Like, you stream on your phone?
What ESPN will stream, yeah. And I Twitter, every clip of everything you ever need in news and sports is on Twitter.
Do you have a membership with ESPN? Do you subscribe?
I did. I don't anymore. Right. I did. It was like 14. I had ESPN and ESPN Plus, and then they bundled. They went into some bundle thing, and now it's like $21 with Hulu and Disney. I'm like, what?
Well, that's what I just got.
No, actually more. $79. $79 a month.
Right.
Disney, Hulu, and
here's ESPN. What I have. I'm going to tell you what I have, and I just did this
AIDS?
through. I have the AIDS. I have the AIDS, and thank you for tuning into our podcast.
We should open with it. You buried the lead. All right. In your ass. You buried the lead pencil in your ass.
Wow. He's on medication, ladies and gentlemen. You have to forgive my partner. He's got the COVID.
I got something.
He's got flu. He's got the RSV. He's got it all. Wow, it's coming out. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
now,
nasty.
Question.
Nasty business, man.
Bernadette and I both had COVID back in June of last year, 2022.
Yes, sir.
And we stayed in separate bedrooms. You know, we had separate baths, everything.
Why should that be any different?
Wow.
Hey, you've had a successful marriage.
You can't tell a fucking joke. That was a bomb.
You've had a successful marriage.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like you're just constantly putting your foot in front of me and tripping me. It's just, what the fuck? It's like a pallbearer with you standing behind him. They kept kicking him in the heel, so he tripped over his own foot.
We've polled the listeners, and they seem to enjoy this.
This is the best part of it.
And then a couple of people right back and go, "Very mean. You're very mean to that man."
And I do the stupid voice impression of you, and you go, "That's not me. That doesn't sound like me."
No, terrible.
That's terrible.
You're a master impressionist.
I don't care for that. I don't care for that.
Continue. What were you saying? You were saying Bernie. You with COVID.
Yeah, we stayed in separate rooms. Now, when I had the chest infection, the RSV, I had it for 3 or 4 days.
RSVP?
RSVP.
I'm going to let them know if I want this or not.
I told her I was going to stay in the other room. She said, no, don't worry about it. So I stayed in
Ooh.
bed with her,
Ooh. Oh,
but all
man.
night long, my back was
COVID
to
sex.
her. My back was to her, and I'm sleeping like this. I slept horrible
Why?
because I
Why
was
didn't
aware. I didn't want to turn towards her and give it to her.
Why didn't
I
you
sh-
sleep on the couch or another room? Or something?
I should
yeah,
have.
you should have.
She,
Yeah.
I guess I was gone for a couple of weeks, and she wanted my sickly body next to her. Here's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Here's the takeaway. She did not
What
end
is
up
the
getting it. She did not end up getting it. But also I was past the contagious stage. That's why.
Okay.
You're contagious.
Yeah. I was on the
Three.
contagious stage at Vasani's, obviously.
Yeah.
That was the most contagious stage I've been on in a while. I fucking got it.
You probably killed half a dozen people.
I hope so. You know, let's.
You got to thin the herd.
Yes, the few people who enjoy my comedy are now.
Well,
dead.
you were sold out. So there were people that were being turned away.
Oh, I
were able
sold
to
out
come to the
already.
next
I sold
show.
out years ago. I sold out years
Yeah.
ago.
So anywho,
Sure.
are you and Kelly doing the separate bedroom thing? Because I know, don't you have a house full of guests still? What's going on there?
We do. We have a house full of guests. So no, we have her sister and brother-in-law in the other bedroom, and then my niece Olivia's on the couch, and Kelly and I are in the bed there, and she puts the Zycam up her nose before we get into bed.
Yeah.
Wraps herself up in a bunch of hoodies and sweatshirts and all sorts of shit.
Oh,
and
she's
then,
a mummy too, right?
builds a wall
Yeah.
of pillows, and then says, "Hey, good night, love you." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whoa,
Hope to see you in the morning.
yeah." And then I'm all stuffed up, so I have that where you try to sleep through or breathe through your mouth, just lay there going,
Oh,
it's the worst. It is you forget how normal feeling is. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's never gonna be normal again. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna feel good, but I'm coming out of it a little, I think, and we'll see. But it was New Year's. I mean, it was, we had 300 or so people at Bassani's, and it was great. Got to see Deborah Swick and
Swicky.
her husband Terry came out.
Did you check in on them? See how they're doing? Because you did some photos. Matter of fact,
they're doing good.
All of you took a photo of 6 of you flipping me the bird.
Swicky's idea.
Yeah, I know. Very funny, Swicky.
Swicky's idea. She said, let's flip off.
By the way, Swicky, Deborah Swick is one of our first supporters and
I think the
fans.
The
first person. And she came to our shows when we were performing together at Fasani's. She purchased a T-shirt from us. She became
early
a member.
Patreon member.
Yeah, she was an early Patreon member. She got a mug and whatnot. But then she kind of like disappeared from social media for a while. She took a break from it.
Yeah, which is smart. I would do the same if I didn't have to promote this shit. You know what I mean? I'd love to just take a break from social media. But yeah, her and Terry, they're great, man. They came out, and his brother was there, who looks just like him. And then Kelly got to meet Swicky, and Swick approved. She told me I approve, which is what I was waiting for. Because if she didn't, Kelly was out. It's the way it goes. I gotta follow Swick's lead. So she said I approve. I said okay, thank you. And well, it was a great night, fun night. 2 shows. We did a 5:30 show, which was really one of those shows where they wanted. Yeah.
Am I going to get the chicken? What are my choices? Is there beef or chicken?
Yeah.
Early bird
be
special.
In bed by 7:30.
That was the early bird special.
In bed.
Hey, if I wasn't a stand-up comedian, I would so rather be in my bed at the strike of midnight.
Oh, hell yeah.
With a healthy broad.
Hey, now, I don't know. Instead of a sickly, you don't want a sickly broad? Does anyone?
Yeah, I just want you to see this. We have to break. I'm in a different time zone. We switched our clocks back at 2 a.m. this morning, and that's why I was late today. But I had my alarm. Oh boy, it's going to go off again. I had my alarm set.
Maybe turn your phone off.
Excuse me. Why? You're making me cough.
Maybe you turn the phone off. I don't think.
Is that what I'm doing?
I think you turn it off and the alarms won't go. But hey, we also saw another early Two Dicks and stand-up fan, Tom and Karen Meehan.
Oh,
came to the show.
wow.
They
Mhm.
came out either Thursday or Friday. I don't recall. And yeah, got to pick with them too. Went up, took them up on the stage. Got to pick with them. So those two, Tom and Deborah Swick, were really the really early on with the whole two dicks. And although I don't think Tom's a Patreon member. I'm just saying. And they were early on with the whole thing. So good to see them. Thanks again for coming out. I saw the boys at Havana Tranquility. Fun weekend. The thing is, though, with New Year's Eve, no matter what, like the club's like, oh, it's 2 a.m. and dancing and all this shit. You know how New Year's Eve goes, 12:30, everybody's gone. Then we went back to the hotel, and behind at the hotel at the rooftop, they had a big thing, rooftop New Year's Eve party. By the time we got there, it was 1 o'clock. That thing was over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was done.
Yeah.
So we were in the room, all of us in a hotel room drinking tequila. And there might have been some weed. I don't know. But had a good time. So
Oh, good for
fun,
you.
But then woke up the next day, probably with the vid or the flu cooking.
Yeah, but you may have gotten that. Now you got me coughing.
Oh,
You
boy.
may have gotten that prior,
Richard.
prior to that. You could have gotten that. When did you go to Tranquility? When did you go to those other places?
I went to Tranquility on Thursday.
Mhm.
Got into town Wednesday. Thursday hung out there, and then Friday and Saturday were just shows. But
Well,
yeah,
you
who knows?
you could have contracted it from there anywhere, really.
I could have. True that. Hey, let's bring up. I mean, it's a bummer, sad news, but Kelly Monteith passed away. The just great comedian, great guy. Hard to even describe how what a great guy he was. Super nice to everybody. 40 plus Tonight shows with Johnny Carson.
Wow.
Every one of those, Merv Griffin, Dinah Shore,
Mhm.
all that stuff. Always had new material for these things. Real observational, early observational. Like Seinfeld is like a fan. He was right before that group. I never knew he was 80 when he passed. I always thought
That's what I saw. Yeah.
10 years maybe older than me or so, but I had no idea. But had a stroke in 2021, and it's one of those things you go, it's merciful that he is gone, I guess, because he was in this body that can no longer speak or move really. But what a bummer. I mean, Kelly Monteith is just, he's just one of the good ones. And if you don't know him, Google him, YouTube. But
yeah, he had his own
great guy.
television show over in the UK, I think for 6 years.
Yeah.
Paul Boland, a fellow entertainer friend of ours, was tight with him, and it was actually kind of taking care of him for a bit there, along with some others. And
his ex-wife really stepped up.
Yeah.
Kelly's ex-wife, took care of him, at the end there. And I remember those stories where he met her. She was at a Playboy Club. She was a waitress at the Playboy Club, I think in England. And that's how they met. And he was just a lot of fun. Always a good guy with a cigar. He'd bring in a bottle of, cheap wine, and I'd kid him about it. He was like, "Hey, I'm divorced, man. This is what I can afford." It was like $7 wine.
And I've never had the pleasure. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. Of course, I know his name, obviously, and his reputation. But 40 Tonight Show appearances. That's incredible.
And when he had just come back from England in the 90s, I was the middle act at the Comedy Zone in Orlando, and he was the headliner. And we were talking, and I was in that, when you're the middle act, you're on the road, you're doing a million shows. Like, that's about the best I've ever been. You know what I mean? That kind of 25 minutes, you're crushing.
Walk in the park.
Yeah. And then he was like, I haven't been on stage in fucking 2 years and shit, so take it easy on me. And I went up and just crushed, and then he went up and really struggled. And then he was bummed. And I was like, it's one night. But by the end of the week, he got it. But you could see it took. And then I would, he would be like, oh, I got to do this. That's right. And we would talk about shit during the day. We'd have lunch. And then I didn't see him again for I don't know, 5 to 10 years, and then I got on Ships, and he was like one of the big headliners on the
Mhm.
ships, and just one of those guys. I was describing it to someone recently. Like he was so like a guy who had no business being that nice. You know what I mean? Like he's like this accomplished guy, and it didn't matter who he met. You were just like he was just nice to you. No bullshit or anything. Just a cool guy and funny as hell, and one of the greats.
Yes.
One of the greats.
My
Big
loss
in
as
England,
well.
huge
My
in
loss.
England.
I didn't get a chance to meet him. You know.
Yeah, yeah. But I was glad Paul Boland. If you're on Facebook and you want to check out Paul Boland, lots of great pictures. They have videos. They did a show together where they would talk about British films
Mhm.
and drink $2 Chuck from Trader Joe. Kelly with that $2 Chuck, and then he was so humble. He was one of those guys who like a guy from the war. You couldn't get a story out of him half the time. I'd be like, tell me about the Comedy Store in 1975. He's like, that's 100 years ago. Who gives a shit? I'm like, I do. I want to hear those, that
Yes.
kind of thing. And
We-
I used to tell him you should play your clips before you go on. You should, because no one has 40 Tonight shows. And he's like, really? They don't even know who Carson is anymore. He goes, I'll look like a dinosaur. And I'm like, no, man,
Embrace
that's
it
cool.
at that point. If you're in
Yeah.
your 70s and you're performing with all that history, you should embrace it.
Yeah. And I thought he was in his
because
60s.
here we are. You and I were like, "Oh my God, it's gold! That's a show in itself." And
Right.
part of that is being modest and
Oh, he's very
whatnot.
modest,
Yeah.
as modest as you can get. But anyway, great guy. Never knew he was 80, but sad day. Kelly Monteith. Check him out, folks, on the the YouTube and various things. Alfred, I just had an accident here. Not
Did
the
you
way
shit
you're
yourself?
thinking. Not the way you're thinking. You son of a.
It's
bitch.
okay, Al.
My
Let me ask you a question.
My football notes and predictions.
Oh,
Some coffee may have just spilled on them, so
can you blame it on Teddy?
I don't know if you can see that. It looks
On
like
the next, blame it on Teddy.
blame it on Teddy. By the way, my lovely girlfriend just ordered a shock collar, which
I told you.
I don't
This
like
is
it.
seeping in. I've been mentioning
I don't like
shock collar. I told you Bernadette has one
I don't like it.
for me.
For her, fine, but or you, but I don't
For
want it
me.
for my daughter.
No, I'm telling you right now, the people that have progressed, advanced puppy problems, it's a game changer. And I know you think it's cruel and whatnot,
Yes.
but I guarantee the results you're going to get, and it's not permanent, by the way. It's not permanent.
Not permanent results.
Yes, permanent results for the most part, but it's going to work, and you're going to be happy. You're going to feel a little bad at first. It's like it's not like they're climbing on electric fence or anything like that. Or they're getting the electric chair. It's just a little reminder.
A little reminder.
No, my friends had 2 dogs, and they had 4 acres.
A little reminder.
So they put up these. They had the shock collars. So if they went near the border, towards the street, because there was a country road where people would drive
Build
50
that
miles
wall.
an hour, and 4 acres. Come on.
Yeah.
The dogs wouldn't go within 50 yards of the
really?
road. Yeah, but they had all these other acres to run
Well, I'm
free.
sure it works, but a lot of things work. I don't want to do it. It's like you could punch your kid every time he grabs a cookie. He's not going to grab a cookie anymore, but you shouldn't be punching your child. I don't know about shocking a poor animal's larynx.
Because you're going to end up punching him.
Well, I've already been outruled, and it's already been ordered, and it's being delivered tomorrow. So it's one of those deals.
I love Teddy. I've been on this podcast many times where he has chimed in.
He does.
And,
well, he's very social, likes to be part of things.
You have no furniture left.
No.
All your rugs are destroyed. He loves toilet paper. How many times have you gone to wipe your ass and you're like, Teddy?
Well, during the cold and slash COVID thing here, I mean, that's my little snot rags on the table next to the bed are being taken under the bed and ingested by Teddy.
Now he's eating it. Now he's eating the COVID.
He's eating the COVID rags. Yeah, it's when people go, they're so smart, aren't they? Not really.
No,
They're not.
not at all.
They're not really smart at all. I mean, for what it can do is sit, roll over. Okay, but they're not smart.
Now, so what are you going to do about this? You're going to continue doing the same thing, blowing it. Why don't you get a waste paper basket with the little lid on it so you can go.
Well, my cold's not going to last for. It's not going to last for a year. I have to go buy a special waste basket.
No, I'll tell you right now. My sinus infection, my chest and sinus infection, is still kind of lingering. Lasted 2 weeks.
But no offense, but you tend to be a little sickly. I never get sick. You have issues. We've documented.
Do you want me to go back and find the podcast where you had a cold? Yeah. And I'm like, do you have the COVID? You went, no, it's just a cold. I go, dude, there's nobody getting colds right now. This is last year, 6 months ago, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. I go, nobody's getting colds. You have COVID, and you're in denial about it.
That was a week before we went to Vegas. I believe that was the week before we went to Vegas.
So that was May. How many months ago was that?
6, 7. But
July, August, September,
I think so.
November, December.
Finger
January.
counting. 8 months. But the home test I did this yesterday, and I did one this morning, and I'm negative.
Yeah, but
people can't have colds.
You have to do the suppository.
I did that. I did it. Can't people just get colds anymore? Can we have a cold?
I just had one.
Yeah. Okay. So
But you're saying I'm always sickly, and
no, you have issues, Alfred.
I had COVID, and I had a sinus infection. And I had
we heard
RSV.
all about it. We heard about
all within 1 year.
Yes.
So over a 12-month period, yes.
Did you ever miss a gig? You ever miss a gig? Here's a question. We don't have any questions, but I'll bring one up. I think it's a good question for both of them. Did you ever miss a gig due to illness in your illustrious many-year career?
I'm going to go ahead and say no, because I had I've been ill and just showed up at my gig, went on, then went home. I've done that a few times.
Right.
But one time I had septicemia because I'm sickly. And that is a blood disease that I got from having my teeth cleaned. And
what?
I was ill. Like I was laying down.
Market guy.
I was on my back in the back of the club.
Cleaning my teeth.
And then they go, okay, I'm going to bring you up now. And then I sat up. They introduced me. I went on stage. I did 45 minutes. The adrenaline kicked in. Great audience. Nice show. Walked off. A friend of mine drove me because I was that sickly, drove me home. And then the next morning I was in the hospital, and I was in for 2 weeks with septicemia. On
and how do you get that? How'd you get that?
From having my teeth cleaned. It's the rush of viruses and whatnot.
Was this a qualified dentist? Was this an actual DDS? A DDS?
It was behind an old mobile station.
I knew it. Yeah, that's the way you got your butt implants, and now you got concrete.
It was an outdoor chair.
Yeah,
by the
that's
dumpster.
not the way you do it. No, you go to a real DDS, man. You can't keep saving a few pennies,
Yeah, there's a little truth to what you're saying.
Well, you see those women in Miami?
You want to hear the rest of the story? I'll tell you the rest of the story real quick.
I'm just saying,
I was doing my friend, my neighbor's wife.
Oh boy.
Was graduating from DDS school, and part of it, hygienist school.
I knew this. I knew it. You went to save $1. Look at you.
She said, "Will you be my? I need a student.
I don't even need the.
I need a patient." She said, "I'm a student in order to graduate," and I got like a week. I said, "Well, I have to get." Yes.
I knew this.
And I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Oh, that'll learn you, you cheap prick. Holy shit. That's hilarious. Oh, man.
Why am I sick? I'm not sick.
That's what I was saying, though. A lot of these women in Miami, they get like butt implants in the back of a car or a van. and then they have problems, and it's concrete. These quote unquote doctors are putting cement and concrete into their ass to give them a big old ass, and it's like, hey, if you're gonna
Is
do
it
that,
concrete or is it
I don't know.
is it mostly something else, but they have an ounce of concrete in it? So
we're just going
the news gets to go, they're
laughs
filling
here.
our asses with concrete.
Well, we're going for some laughs here,
Are we-
Alfredo.
oh, okay,
I
I'm
could be
sorry.
exaggerating.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this
Okay.
isn't a science.
I thought we were
show.
going
It's
to.
not-
I thought we were going to
this
go down
isn't
the
a
Joe
medical-
Rogan thing about the
No, this is not a medical
ivermectin.
show. Yeah, it's not
It's like
medical.
the guy,
Information
he's taking horse pills. It's like it's a malaria pill. That's what it was. And the guys or the team that invented it won a Nobel Peace Prize in medicine for using it in humans. So
Yeah.
Joe, he's got more money than God, gets the human dose
Right.
and kicks COVID's ass in like 48 hours. And everybody, he's
Yeah.
taking horse pills.
So stupid. I know. But it's easy. It's easy to say shit like that. It's
Yeah.
easy to tweet those kind of things. Horse pills. Okay. That's what we're doing. Horse pill. I'd take one right now. I'd love to have one right now, but I don't have COVID though. I have the flu. So there's not much I can do. A little NyQuil. You know what I did last night? NyQuil and a gummy. That was pretty good.
Whoa.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good sleep.
See, I wouldn't do that.
That's
I'd be afraid that I would
Well, you're
slip into a
afraid.
coma.
Well, you're scared.
Hey, speaking of
Yeah.
which, comas,
Sir. Yes.
our football player Hamill, Damar Hamill, woke up and held hands with one of his family members.
Mm.
Pretty
Great.
good news.
Yeah, that's very good news. I mean, that was I wasn't watching. Were you watching the game? Did you see it
I was.
unfold live?
I did. I saw him go down. I was like, "Whoa, that was weird."
Yeah.
Did he get a rush of blood to his head? But I was actually texting Mike Burton, East Coast Mike Burton, because he's a big Bengals fan. So I was texting him back and forth. I go, dude, did this guy's heart stop? Not knowing that his heart had stopped.
You don't hear that a lot. He's a big Bengals fan. That's a tough one. Yeah, I mean now they're good, but that's a tough road to be a Bengals
But he
fan.
was a diehard fan throughout.
Well, it's good, and they're good, but
And,
a lot
by
of
the
years,
way,
a
and
lot of
because
mediocre years.
he lives in New York, so he was his second team was the Giants. So
The Giants, who are in
the
playoffs?
first time since when?
2016, sir,
Wow.
which isn't that bad when you consider
No,
a lot of teams. But we're so used to being in. But I thought about it. I'm like, it seemed like 20 years. And then you read, oh, it's 2016. I'm like, oh,
That's
only
not
6
bad. Well,
years.
because there's teams that haven't been in it in 20 years, like you said.
The Lions,
more.
I don't think have been in since probably the 80s. And what is that, 40 years? The Browns.
I think it was the 90s, but yeah, it was 30
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
A long time, man. A long time. So, but yeah, we're in. Giant fans. We're excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Now, I had football, and I know it's the most popular segment on the pod, but I had the how we did last week and the picks, and if you're on Patreon, you're seeing right there, and boy, that's just not going to work at all. So I don't know. I think the Lions, yeah, I can't read it. So anyway, I probably went 3-0 last week. I think Alfred went 0-3. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. If your
in the
memory
league.
serves you correct.
In the league where they play for pay. So yeah, I don't think we can do unless you have them in handy, unless you have taken notes and have the scores.
I
and
rely on you because I do
games.
all the technical stuff. I do the editing, the downloading, the uploading, all that. I do the
Right.
audio, a
Yeah.
separate platform, and then the video for our Patreon members.
True.
I do all
Got your
that
work.
stuff. I record
Yeah.
this.
Got your
So
work cut out for you.
I was hoping that you could keep score
I usually
of
do.
three
I don't-
bets that we made.
Well, I usually do, but I'm on it's a roundish table, and it's packed with stuff. There's boxes here, and I knocked into the coffee, and
And you can't blame it on Teddy.
I can't.
Maybe
I will.
you need the shock
I will.
collar.
I will. I wouldn't mind one night, to be honest with you.
Yeah, take a half a gummy and a shock collar before you go to bed.
It might be fun. Good times. What else is going on, Alfredo? Fill us in on your life. What's happening? You go from this
Prince
ship,
Harry
you go
claims in
home.
his autobiography that his older brother beat him up, pretty much. And isn't that what older brothers do? Isn't that like a They pound on you, boom, boom, boom.
That's big news. Big, shocking, exciting news. I saw the book is called Spare. Did you see the title of the book? His biography called Spare.
I didn't realize that.
And he's a bowler, which no one knew. Harry is
he
quite a bowler, and that's his the nickname. The guys at the lanes call him Spare. Harry
no, that's what he wanted to be called. And he said, "Listen, on the fucking queens and kings, I'm a fucking prince. You call me Spare, and I'll spare your life."
Oh, I thought he was down with his mates at the bowling alley
I know.
every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And in between beers, they go, "Spare, you're up, buddy." But actually, that's what his father called him when he was born. He goes, "Oh, we got a spare," which is kind of funny, because that's like a couple of maybe I don't know which.
Tom Cotter does that with his twin boys.
Spare parts.
Yes, he said we have twin boys.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
spare parts.
I guess it didn't sit. Old Harry didn't think it was that funny, and seems to have stuck in his craw a bit because the book's titled Spare, and he seemingly unloads on the old man. But you know what? That whole thing. Do you really have any?
No.
Who's interested?
Who fucking boo fucking who? Wait a minute.
Who's interested? Who cares?
His dowry. He has like millions, tens of millions of dollars just sitting to pay for his security and his homes, and he married a wealthy actress who was kicking ass on her TV show and movies.
Was she wealthy? Was an actress?
Yeah, she did Suits. She was a star of Suits. That was an hour-long program that she was on for several seasons, and she had a multi-million-dollar contract, and she did a few films. So she came to the table with 7 figures, but she earned hers in the industry, which is a very difficult industry. He was born into it. He did serve his country, which I didn't. I didn't serve my country. You served.
All hands on deck.
I have him trained now. He says it because he knows I'm going to say it.
Yeah, but I just who cares about this family? I don't understand the fascination. I don't
because it started the whole tabloid business, a multi-billion-dollar tabloid industry.
I don't understand why we're so interested in this one family that has accomplished nothing.
Well, they're symbolic, lives. It's all symbolic. The royal family at this point, they really don't have any political leverage. That's why they have to do all charity work, as they should. When you're born into $100 million bank account, then you should dedicate your life to going around helping the poor and use your status to bring attention to.
Do they help the poor? They don't help the poor. Mother Teresa helped the poor. They don't do shit.
Well, Mother Teresa did not have that war chest. That she didn't have the money. She was.
You're going to talk about Mother Teresa's chest? That's out. That's offensive. I'm going to draw the line on that. I'm triggered now. I'm offended. This podcast it's going to be canceled. I swear to God. Hashtag
again,
Mother Teresa's
I
chest.
always follow that up with, "We're too small to be canceled." And I wish we
Mother
were.
Teresa's chest was small. This is outrageous. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this nonsense. This was a woman who dedicated her life to feeding the poor. And
so the other half of the gummy you had at breakfast. When did that happen? When did you ingest that one?
I don't know. My sinuses are filling up again. When you get sick, you have like really good couple hours, and then you You start. That's where I'm in the. I'm in the big fade now. I'm starting the big fade.
Oh,
But,
Kelly, Mr.
yeah.
Window. Damn it.
I asked her to come on and explain salsa seltzer, but she hasn't.
She's reluctant.
So,
She's
Wed,
smart.
Kelly, come here. Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in and get his
Come on
disease.
in. She doesn't want to come in.
I said
Yes, Kelly.
salsa, not seltzer.
No, you said salsa
Salsa.
as a drink.
Salsa.
See? And now they're coming to get you. They're taking you away.
El says salsa.
Salsa. Seltzer.
It's salsa.
Okay.
Dude, I would
Okay.
be really nice to the person that could
But
make
she doesn't
me
want to come on
homeless.
camera.
She can kick you to the curb if she wanted to.
She should. She should. She doesn't want to come on camera. I don't know.
I work.
She's working and
She's working
Not
and
ready-
you're a
not ready for
disease.
camera.
She's not, she
And
doesn't
I'm
want to
ill.
be, she doesn't
and
want to
then
be
she
any,
let
any
Teddy.
closer.
Teddy's in the room now. Teddy's here. Okay. This thing is this pot is falling apart.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Teddy, I
in,
have
in a
treats.
couple of weeks on the pod, you're going to have the little remote handy, and he's going to come near you. You're going to go, Teddy. Yeah.
Yeah, might be fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's arriving tomorrow, so yeah, the next pod will. I'll put it on camera for the Patreon members. $5 a month.
It's called
You
Tough
can See the
Love.
video. You can see the video, folks. $5.
I mentioned
know,
the shot caller on
uh,
this pod weeks ago, and it proves to me that Kelly does listen.
Oh, she listens. All right, she listens.
Hmm.
Yeah, to the pod, not to me, but she listens to the pod weekly.
Okay. So you're down for another, 3 or 4 days?
I'm hoping her family's arriving Saturday. My sister's coming in on I believe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm hoping to be back to normal by Saturday. Today's Thursday, so another day or two. I hope Saturday, Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
back to norm, and then that's it. Yeah, and then I had a one-nighter scheduled for Friday night, but it was funny. I didn't cancel it, but I wrote to the guy. I go, hey, I'm ill and I'm going to try to recover, but you might want to have somebody on deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wrote me, goes, that's fine. I replaced you. We'll put you in. How about March? Can you do that? And I go, whoa, oh, geez. He just wanted nothing to do with
Sure.
you
Sure.
know waiting
blame
on
him.
me and finding. I don't either, but it was funny. I go, I'll let you know, and he just wrote me back. He goes, that's fine. I replaced you. You can
Yeah,
do
well,
March if you have it.
Club owners have gone through the lockdown, the shutdown.
Mhm.
So they are concerned. And because of the new surge, who knows what's going to happen?
I know.
So why, you have a bunch of comedians that are available, then just do the switcheroony.
Yeah, it makes
you're
sense.
overemployed, and there's a lot of comedians that are underemployed.
Hey, what's over?
What?
What does that mean? Over.
It means you're doing well. It was a compliment. You're in
Oh.
demand.
Oh, all right. Demand this. Did I tell you I'm going to be doing a crossing in March?
This is your first crossing?
No, I've done one before.
You
I
haven't-
don't like them, and I didn't.
You don't
know
usually
it.
do them.
No, but I'm taking the Symphony from Miami to Barcelona.
Yeah,
So I'll be on.
I've done like 3 or 4 crossings.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. 9 days at sea. and then 3
What
days
sucks
in
is
Spain.
you're going to go right to the airport from the ship.
No, there's 3 port days. So we get to one part of Spain, and we have 3 ports in Spain,
Right.
and then I leave the 4th day from Barcelona.
I understand. I know how that
Right.
works. When you
Right.
when you sail across the Atlantic, you
Yeah.
hit the ports. You might even
But
go
I'm
to
not
Portugal. You
leaving
might.
right
Are you going to
away.
go to the Azores? You're going to go to Portugal.
No, it's all Spain.
So you're going to go. One of them is not great.
I think is it Madrid is one, and then
No, Madrid
something,
is
and then
Madrid is it's inland.
oh, I don't know which, but I leave from Barcelona, but I will have a couple of port days. I'm not going to just cross to Europe and then leave the ship, get on a plane. And fly
I'm just
home.
talking about the city of Barcelona is
Yes,
is
sir.
a cool city, and
Oh, yeah.
to
I
be able
overnighted
to
there.
experience
It's
it.
fun.
Oh, you have overnight.
I have.
Yeah. I just like Barcelona. a
Yeah.
lot. I was just
Yeah.
there like 2 months ago.
Oh yes, with your wife, and that was a lot of work for you. You were, and you can listen to old podcasts if you want, folks. But there was a lot going on there to get that trip to
I was there,
actually
I was in
succeed.
Barcelona twice in 3 weeks. How about that?
Crazy. That's crazy.
First
But I
time
didn't know
solo.
this was a crossing. I think I would have said no. But
Well, we
it
love
was
and
just
adore our
symphony.
agents, and they're kind to
know.
us, but they tend
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fabricate things because
Well, I just got my dates, and it was, it's like March 9 through, whatever, 18. And you go, oh, okay.
I got a phone call once. It was a phone call. Hey, we're in a jam. Your calendar's open. Do you want to do this crossing? But you go to Japan. It's a great cruise.
What?
And I was like, okay. I just took it. And then I found out it was one of those cruises. They were
Right.
dumping me off in
Yeah.
Yokohama, which is not even in Tokyo. And then I'd have to take a train to the airport and fly away. So
Yeah.
I was enraged. So I said, hey, I'm staying on for 2 more days. And I get off in another port. And I was able to really suck in. I was really to take in the Japanese
Or sucking.
or suck in.
Some sake. You sucked in some
I
sake.
in some, yeah.
It works. But yeah, I just, those 9 days at sea. Come on.
Yeah, the last
I
one
should have
did.
noticed. I should have noticed. It's like the gig goes like Wednesday to Sunday. So it was one of those. I'm like, I should have noticed. That seems weird. Who starts a cruise on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, a crossing. So
Yes, for repositioning of a ship. But I was with Bernadette on the last one, so it was,
I'm going to be burnt with Bernadette on this one, so it'll be good.
Dear Lord, help us. Anything else that we have to discuss?
No, I'm just glad I got through it. My voice, my head, I wasn't sure if it was going to last through.
I was going to contact Bernadette and see if she was able to do it tomorrow and sit in for you as a substitute. I said, well, I could air an old episode, or I could have Bernadette.
Right. Yeah. No,
instead
I'm
of
here,
the
man.
Talking Dicks comedy podcast, we'd have to change the name ever so slightly.
We got to change the name anyway, and I don't want to really get into it right now, but we do have to change the name. Even Twitter now with problems, and after 2.5 years, 3 years, suddenly Twitter now is like, hey, we're having a problem with your post, and it's the name, blah blah blah. I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's a very simple name.
I'm going to explain it real quick to the people that are listening for the first time. We have a web series based on 1950s politically incorrect detectives. We shoot in black and white. There's 18 episodes. And back then, they would call detectives Dicks, Dick Tracy, etc. So we called ours the Two Dicks. And then we became the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast, play on words. And when we first came out with stuff, we came out like gangbusters. We were getting a lot of visits, downloads, views, etc. And we kind of it dropped off because we've been pulled out of the algorithms. We've been pulled off. We've been flagged. We've been suspended.
We're dirty.
All because of our title. So we started calling it the TDCP, Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. And we did that a little bit, but apparently it's already in our original uploads. So we're not, whatever it is, our signature has already been flagged as inappropriate. So only a certain amount of people get to see this stuff and listen to it.
But I don't know where to go from it because, the web series is the Two Dicks. And then I don't know where to, I don't want to blow the whole thing and start again. You know what I mean? You can't go like, oh,
you have to be rebranded.
Sharman, Al Romas, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, but I don't know, man.
Look at Cumtown, CUM Town.
How come
because they were big before they started clamping down. They were so big, millions of downloads and followers, millions, and they're too big to fail or get pulled.
Cumtown, yeah. Even the MC this week, one of the MC, we had different MCs each night. I go Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. He's like, ooh, really? Like, why? What world do we live in? Where Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast is
because it sounds like sounds like two penises.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, what are the odds? You know, you do a web series and then you throw a title on it, and then it's going to become we never thought in a million years that we have to deal with an issue of title. So I don't know I don't know. I've been kicking it around. I don't really have any answers yet how we rebrand or
if you have a suggestion about renaming us, all seriousness, please mention in the comments below.
Yeah.
Or DM us if you don't want to go. Now, do you know there's people that listen to us but never chime in or hit like because they don't want to be associated because it will come up on their feeds.
Oh.
And you could be on your phone and all of a sudden we post something and it comes up, boom, the two dicks have just posted something and people are freaking out.
It does look weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks weird. It does. But and it's strange when someone's like, I get after a show, what's your podcast? And they expect to hear, whatever, Al Romas.
We should have worked on this.
Talking dicks. Like, what?
We should have worked on this at the end of the 2022 and had something locked and loaded.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, though. I've actually been giving it effort and time. I just can't come up with something that's not starting from ground zero.
Talking Heads is a band from the 80s.
Right. But the thing is, we should have done, which we didn't, because it was COVID and we were on Facebook. We were just fucking around. But it doesn't really make sense.
How about the Chatty Johnsons?
The Chatty Johnsons. I like it. There you go.
He likes it.
We like it. We see you next week on the
Chatty Johnsons.
Good luck in prison.
Iceberg Dead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The Two Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/The Two Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.